we're going to go ahead and start. Thank you all for joining on the call tonight. I'm going to be very brief as much as I can, and we're going to go through this pretty quickly. There's some of this will be a review, but it is something we want to get everybody on the same page. So a couple of things. It looks like we're all into Zoom, and that's great. I think everybody's on. Everybody can hear. Please keep your noise levels to a minimum because we are recording and we don't want too much interruption. And like Michelle said at the very end, we'll do the Q&A. So if you have questions, jot them down, either on paper or mentally, and then we'll go through them. We'll have some time at the end if there are any questions. Okay, so to begin, I did a little bit of digging, and this is just a couple of screenshots, what you're looking at, but there's a lot of confusion in when it comes to JustServe. This on the left is Instagram, and on the right is a screenshot of some community pages and things in Facebook. Both of them, if you scroll down, it's just gobs and gobs of pages. And so it can be very understandable that there's a lot of people maybe that think they're following the main page, but they're not. There is one church page and then there's one for the Valley. So we want to clear all this up because there are wards that do it. There are stakes that do their own pages. I think there's even Relief Society and or Elders Quorum that are doing their own JustServe pages for a variety of reasons. And there's no way we can control all of that. But what we do want to do is make sure those who are following or doing their own pages are following certain guidelines because we don't want this to get away from us. And those guidelines are, first of all, we want to like, follow, and share the main accounts. We want everybody that's here and everybody in the stakes and wards to follow JustServe.org, the church main account, and then the one that we're setting up here together collectively in the Valley. So those are two key accounts, and after that, if you've got like a ward page or something like that, then that's up to your stakes or your wards that you're in. So the ultimate goal, though, whichever one you're on, or if you're involved in one or know of one, the goal for each of them is to push people toward JustServe.org and to post projects and things that support JustServe.org. Now, that's something that all of us here probably already know, and it seems like a review, but it's important that we're reminded of that. And as this training goes out, there are people that don't realize and understand this because they'll use JustServe as a way to say, hey, come on down, Saturday morning we have a project and we'd love to see everybody there, and here's the directions. And people are skipping the process of clicking on that blue button, volunteering, and signing up formally. And so again, there's more or fewer people that are showing up than is expected, and it puts the agency in a little bit of a bind. And so we all know this, but it's good for review as we get out there with all these different social media accounts that we're still following that same protocol. And then be careful when we're talking and communicating on our social media platforms that we're not using language that is specific to the LDS community. We want to make sure everybody understands it. These are community pages, and we want to make sure we keep them that way. Here's the Metro Phoenix Instagram. I haven't done a lot of posts. We have just 72 followers. It's just JustServe_Metro_Phoenix. And I'll have these links available so you don't have to write that down, and we'll send them around. But the one I want to focus on the most is the Facebook group. So we're converting it into a Facebook page, as you may or may not know. We've been building the group. We've been doing it for about a year now, I think, and we're up. If you look at the bottom right-hand corner, you see there's 908 members in our Facebook group, which is pretty good growth. Over the last year, you can see it looks kind of like this. We've had these little splurges, and I think that's when people get in and share and promote, and we get these growth patterns. So it's been good, but we're finding that we want to convert it to a page because there's more exposure and a little more flexibility in some of the things we can do. So I've started the countdown clock. November 15th will be our last day, and then I'm going to close the Facebook group. So for right now, we're trying to get all 909 members to come over to the Facebook page because there's no quick and easy way of doing this. And so I have to promote it for a little while. And some of you on this call and some of the stake members and ward members and leaders may not even be following either. So now if you are, now is the time to jump in and start following so you can help and you can share and you can like and comment, and that's what makes Facebook say, hey, this is important. We're going to put it in front of other eyeballs and then it grows from there. So we need a collaborative effort to make this happen. So our new page is found by, if you just do a quick search on Facebook, and it will say JustServe. It'll in Phoenix, and you'll see pages and groups, and it'll categorize like that. Ours is right there. That's the page, and that's what you want to follow. It's called JustServe Phoenix. You can also go to up in the corner on the right. You can filter by pages or groups that way. So ours is the main one, JustServe Phoenix, and that services the entire valley. And that's what I'm going to be running, and we're going to be posting projects from all the way from Queen Creek on up to Scottsdale, all the way up to Avondale, the full gamut. And one of my goals is to spread that out. So we're not going to be posting only in Phoenix or only in Tempe or any of these specific areas. We're going to really try and get a balance. And so this is where I'm asking help from all of you and the stake directors to give me ideas on projects. If you have an interesting project, send me a link, and I would love to get it up on the page. I'm usually kind of just looking myself, and I'll find interesting projects. But if you have an agency or a specific project in your area that you really would like a little extra boost, send it to me, and I'll work it in the schedule. So the Facebook page right now looks like this, and you'll see we have a whopping 15 likes. So we have 908 members from the Facebook page, the group that we're trying to convert into the page, and then some. We really want to go much beyond the 908 members. We've got a lot of work making up to do, but we have 4 million people in the valley. There's no reason why we can't have thousands and thousands of followers and people engaging in our content. But it will start with us, and this is how it will work. I'll roll this out in a second, but the page offers more publicity. So when I tag a community, or when I make a post that has an agency associated with it, I can tag that agency, and because it's on a page, it's not a private group, the agency can see that and they can share it, and they can like it, and they can follow and comment. So that's one advantage, is we get better exposure. The posts can be tagged and shared, not only by the agency, but by all of you and anyone else who's following along. And pages are, the downside is they're a little bit harder to grow. They usually require money to boost. This is a page or a change that Facebook made in their algorithms at the beginning of the year, is they said pages will be a little harder to grow, and so therefore you can pay us money and we'll help you grow them. So they're positioning themselves to be profitable, and we can fault them for that, but it does require money to boost, or it requires a concerted effort and engagement, and that's what we're going to do. Is we're going to get everybody involved, and I'm going to show you how that works right now. So here's our growth plan. I took this right off of the Amway page book. So you start off with one person, and you've got there's us, which are 15 people, and if we all like it, then we have 16 followers. So off the bat, we've got 16. Now, if we promote it to our stakes, it's going to look something like this, and you could have easily 100 plus just by engaging the stake specialists and getting them to like the page. At that point, Facebook starts to take the page a little bit more seriously, right? And from there, there's a number of ways we can do it. We need to filter this into the wards and the people who are in wards who have different communities that they're involved in. And from there, it can blow up very quickly. It can easily turn into thousands and thousands of people. And that's what we want. So this is the competition. I don't necessarily look at them as competition, but I'm in marketing, so that's the word I use. These are a lot of different places all around the country doing Facebook pages just like this. And you can see some are growing better than others, but I want to surpass all of them, and I want to have a huge explosion in the valley of people engaging and liking and following. And Michelle and I were talking about this earlier. Social media, has been around for a long time, and it's only growing. And a lot of people now are turning more and more to social media for these types of things, or finding out about projects more and more on social media. So we need to be where they are looking, and that's what we're trying to do. I feel like we're, if anything, a little bit behind, and we've got some catching up to do to build our numbers to where we're a substantial page and we're really making a difference in the valley of getting eyeballs on projects, clicking links, going and volunteering, driving out, and then participating in JustServe that way. So this can really be a big, valuable vehicle to getting people to go out and get involved in JustServe and participate in some projects. We want to leverage our existing communities this way, starting with us, like I said, filter it down to the stake and the ward specialist. We want to do this training, and this video training will be helpful because it's something you can pass along. And I'll have links. So this is literally, we're asking people to do, 1 or 2 minutes worth of work outside of watching this brief training. Just click like and start following. Inside of wards, there are Facebook groups, there are Relief Society groups, there are Elders Quorum groups, there are all kinds, and every ward has their own, and then every person lives in a community. Like I live down at Ironwood now, out in Queen Creek, and I'm in 2 or 3 community groups where it's just the residents of Ironwood Crossing, for example, and there are a couple of thousand people in that group. And so these are advantage or opportunities that we often overlook. Because this is a community page, we can post and promote this in our community groups. It doesn't have to be just our church groups or just Relief Society and Elders Quorum and so forth. So keep that in mind as we're talking to our stake specialists and as they're going and doing trainings to the ward specialists, is we really want people to think outside the church box and think, well, where are my associations on Facebook? What groups do I follow? The community groups. It might be a political group, or it might be something through the city, or other associations that are part of that are inside of the valley here in Phoenix. And we can copy and paste and promote the page in those groups as well. And then beyond that, we can use and leverage our relationships with the executive secretary who sends out announcements. There's ward bulletins that have announcements. There's the stake clerk that sends emails. There's a lot of different opportunities where we can just say, hey, do you mind just posting a link at the bottom of your email or at this announcement, or do you mind if we promote it here? Just a little blurb with a link that says, hey, join, follow us, like us, and see what's going on with JustServe in the Valley. So those are all different opportunities. Once we all get engaged and we start liking, commenting, sharing, then there's no end to how big we can really grow this page and get it out there. And I think it'll become a substantial force for driving awareness of JustServe and all the unique projects that there are across the valley, because this is really where people are going, is to social media. And so our 2 pages, the Instagram and the Facebook page, are going to be the hub of all the social media platforms that are out there. Those are the 2 big ones. So that's it. I'm going to go.